As you know, the city of New Orleans is hosting our National College Football Championship right here in the heart of our city. We have with us, standing with us, of course, our entire public safety team, our local, state, and federal partners as well, but also joined by Mr. Bill Hancock, who is over the college football playoff, and also Mr. Jeff Huntley with the New Orleans Host Committee. And Jay, you were supposed to be up here, Cicero, with our All-Star Sugar Bowl team, who was very, very instrumental of landing this national championship game for the city of New Orleans. You know, we are no stranger to hosting major events, and we are prepared. And as we always do, and I bring you with my public safety team, we will go one by one and give you the proper updates as needed in terms of how we are prepared. The city of New Orleans, let me tell you, we have been planning on this and working through this, as the colonel will say, over thousands of hours, even visiting the last championship game just so we could see on the ground to make sure that we're prepared as possible, as best prepared as possible. We also anticipate severe weather during this weekend. We expect some weather changing around 10 a.m. to 12 noon on tomorrow. We're told that the system has yet to be organized, so we will continue to monitor that, but we are prepared, expecting 1.2 to 4 inches of rain, again, in that collapse period, 10 a.m., 12 noon, and with wind up to 70 miles per hour. Starting on Saturday, we know that events will be hosted throughout not only the French Quarter, the CBD, and absolutely the Convention Center of New Orleans. It's very important. The City Hall will be on early dismissal on Monday, 12 noon. Early dismissal, 12 noon, and emergency pay will not be activated. Very important. Of course, large crowds, I'm urging, and you will hear this repeatedly, for people to be very patient. Arrive to New Orleans, I would say, as soon as you can, and just be prepared for some wait times, but be patient mostly. So with that, I'm going to move forward now by calling up our superintendent of the New Orleans Police Department, Sean Ferguson, at this time. Chief?
Good morning, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. As always, the New Orleans Police Department remains steadfast. We are ready and prepared for any and all events that our great city hosts right here in New Orleans. We will be sufficiently staffed beginning tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We will begin staffing our officers for this event. You will see a contingency of officers strategically placed and staggered shift from 3 p.m. starting tomorrow, 3 p.m. to 6 a.m. the following morning, every day, Saturday, Sunday, as well as Monday. And on Monday, we'll be on 12-hour shifts for the ingress and egress for the football game in itself. This will be a very crowded weekend. We expect major traffic congestion, so we're encouraging everyone to arrive. If you're going to the game early, if you're going to the game on Monday, arrive to New Orleans early. If you can walk, please walk. If you can partake in some of our ride-sharing services, please do that as well. Also, to our hospitality employees, we're encouraging you to leave your residences early so that you can arrive to your jobs or your place of employment in a timely fashion and in a safe manner. We are also encouraging everyone to exude patience. We need a lot of patience this weekend. Also, do not drink and drive. Do not bring any weapons to the city of New Orleans. We're asking you to be safe, be responsible. If you are found to be in possession of a weapon, you may very well face an arrest. So we're asking you to please be responsible and be safe and take heed to what it is that we're saying. More importantly, I want to give you some street closures for this weekend. New Orleans Police Department officers will be deployed in traffic control on Saturday and Sunday on Canal Street to help the guests check into their hotels throughout the weekend. From 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Saturday through Monday, there will be limited access to the French Quarters from Canal Street to Domain Street and from Rampart to Decatur. During these same hours, Bourbon Street, the 7 and 800 blocks of St. Anne to Iberville. Every street that crosses Bourbon Street will be closed to vehicular traffic. This is to deter and to prevent any vehicles from crossing Bourbon Street throughout this weekend. That is from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. every night. And on game day, on Monday, Decatur Street will be closed from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. from Canal Street to Dumaine. So please be prepared for that. And also, be mindful, the Hard Rock Collapse Zone is still in existence. So Canal Street from Burgundy to Elks and Rampart Street from Bienville to Common Street will remain closed to vehicular traffic, and we're encouraging everyone to please stay out of the area. If you do not have a need or requirement to go in that area, do not go in that area. These measures will be put in place to keep our residents and visitors alike safe throughout the weekend. And as we update any changes, you can find those changes on NOPDnews.com as well as ready.nola.gov. Again, we as the New Orleans Police Department, we are ready, we are prepared. We're asking you to work with us to make sure that this is a safe environment and a joyful environment for everyone. Be safe, be patient, be responsible, and most of all, be respectful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Superintendent. I'm going to ask now our Superintendent of Fire, Tim McConnell.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The New Orleans Fire Department is prepared. We'll be upstaffed for this event, and we'll be staffing additional folks at all of the special events throughout. Both at the game itself, we will have fire apparatus there to supplement what's normally there and to be able to investigate any incidents very, very quickly. We will be out and about throughout all the other events throughout the city, and we would encourage everyone to, once again, get downtown early, particularly if you're going to the game. There will be delays that you need to be prepared for, so get down here, enjoy the city and all the events that are coming with this, and be safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I will ask Chief Samaran with EMS. You want to come on up?
Thank you, Mayor. Just as the other issues, New Orleans EMS is ready. As with all large events, we'll be at full staffing for the weekend and on game day, and we'll have additional units in service citywide, ready to respond to expected increase in visitors and call volume. Our personnel, along with the Acadian Ambulance, will be at the college football venues throughout the city, ready to handle on-site emergencies. Just as you heard already, we encourage everyone to celebrate responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And call 911 for police, fire, or life-threatening medical emergencies only. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to ask our Director, Tyra Morris of the Orleans Parish Communications District.
Good morning, everybody. OPCD stands ready to support the city to host this event, but also manage the emergencies throughout the city of New Orleans for our residents as well. A reminder, 911 is for life-threatening emergencies only. If you have a request that is not life-threatening, we ask that you make that request using 311, which is available 24 hours a day. Additionally, for our visitors that are visiting the city of New Orleans, we have a very special feature with an Uber integration. If you find yourself in an Uber and you have an emergency, open the Uber application, open the safety toolkit, hit emergency. Your cell phone will make a 911 call, but at the same time, Uber is sending us all additional information about the vehicle that you're in, the driver information, and the location of the vehicle simultaneously while you're on the phone. We're one of the very few cities in the nation to have that feature, and so we ask that if you find yourself in an emergency, use that technology that is available. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, the Office of Homeland Security has absolutely been leaning in on this, again, with the thousands of hours of planning time. I'm going to ask our Director, Colin Arnold, to come forth, but you will also see our Unified Command, that is with the FBI, of course, the Louisiana State Police as well, and other federal partners. But Colin, please come forward.
Thank you, Mayor. Morning. Starting tomorrow through Monday, the New Orleans Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness will activate the city's Emergency Operations Center to monitor this national championship event. Liaisons from local, state, and federal agencies will be on hand and ready to respond if needed. Our real-time crime center will be active 24/7, and we'll have representatives embedded from the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force and the State Police Fusion Center throughout the weekend, providing intelligence and analysis so that we can collaborate together, which we have been doing for the last year at least with the FBI and the State Fusion Center and our other federal partners. I know the special agent in charge of the FBI, Brian Vondren's here today, and he's relatively new to the area, but he has picked up where his predecessor left off in a big way, and we've already had several conversations. We've also, NOSEP has placed additional lighting, vehicle barriers, and other protective measures throughout the French Quarter and CBD to enhance safety and security throughout the weekend. We're monitoring the severe weather, as mentioned. We are in enhanced risk for some severe weather tomorrow, with the primary impacts being high wind, hail, and the potential for tornadoes. We're in constant communication with the National Weather Service and the organizers with the college football playoff system in order to make sure that while the impacts appear to be from about 10 a.m. to noon tomorrow with outdoor activities, some starting in the morning, but the main activities in the French Quarter and along the river starting at 2 p.m., we will be able to communicate with them, make sure that they are safe while this weather passes through, which is a line, and then and move on with activities tomorrow. In anticipation of large crowds over the weekend and Monday, please plan ahead, as the Chief Ferguson mentioned, for heavy vehicle and pedestrian traffic in the CBD and French Quarter. The New Orleans Police Department will be out there, and they'll be assisting residents, workers, and hotel guests with getting where they need to be in the French Quarter during some of these closures. On the game day itself, I cannot stress enough that people need to be patient and they need to plan ahead. They need to get here early. There are going to be temporary intermittent traffic closures on major roadways in New Orleans, in this metro area, around game time. That's a fact, and people need to be ready for it. This is essentially a home game for LSU. You should anticipate hundreds of thousands of people coming that maybe don't even have a ticket to the game. They're coming here to have a good time in the French Quarter, Champion Square, along the river. There's going to be associated traffic with that. Please remember that you are our partners in public safety. This is a partnership. If you're in a large crowd, if something doesn't seem right, if something seems wrong to you, if you see something, say something. We say it all the time, but it's very important. There's going to be plenty of public safety officials out there Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I can't stress enough that you are our partners. And at the same time, our partnership with you is that we will keep you informed if you so desire. Ready.nola.gov, our website, is back up. It's back up and running. It has all the information that I'm talking about right now. You can follow us at NOLA Ready on social media. As if you're a resident, you can text your zip code to 888-777 for real-time alerts. And if you're a visitor to our fine city, please text Tour Safe NOLA, one word, to 888-777. I'm very proud of this team. We've worked very hard on this. This actually started 3 years ago with trips to Atlanta and then the Bay Area last year to shadow the games. CFP has been great, and let's have a great weekend and let's be safe.
Amen. I also want to pretty much instruct and encourage any non-emergencies, call 311. Utilize 911 for emergencies only. We cannot overstate that enough. I'm going to ask now Colonel Reeves with the Louisiana State Police. Colonel, you want to come on up?
Good morning. I'd like to accent the seamless coordination and collaboration between the Mayor's Office under her leadership, Chief Ferguson, and the New Orleans Police Department, along with the city's entire public safety team, and in no short order, acknowledge the participation and cooperation of our federal partners, to include the FBI and the Secret Service and all of our federal partners. Having said that, the Louisiana State Police will be deployed in just over 130 personnel to this event. In the interest of public safety, they will be divided out between uniform patrol, plainclothes personnel working undercover operations, emphasizing the location of illegal weapons violations and criminal investigations and intelligence gathering. We will also have a footprint, as was said earlier, with the Fusion Center, working with our local and federal partners on that, and the Real-Time Crime Center. We will also have some special operations teams on the ground just in the event that is needed. As was said before, we hope everyone has a safe time. We encourage everyone, be mindful of your surroundings. Please be courteous. I think the chief said it best. Be respectful to everyone. And as the director said a minute ago, if you see something, there will be plenty of law enforcement officials around. Please say something. Nothing is too small for us to look into in the interest of public safety. So, Mayor, thank you for your leadership and allowing us to be a part of the team.
Absolutely. Can't do it without you. Yep, thank you. All right, and I just wanted to, I'm going to ask Colonel Terry Everett, Public Safety, Homeland Security. Colonel, you come up, and we'll open it up for some
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to wrap this up by saying what a privilege it is to live in a city that can perform the functions needed to provide public safety to activities of this scope. You've heard from some of the finest leadership in our nation at the public level, both at the local level, the regional level, the state level, and the federal level. As the mayor has already said, we've spent thousands of hours in preparation for this. We know how to do this job. We need your cooperation as the public to make it happen. And the idea of this is to do it in a classy manner where everybody can enjoy it in a safe and secure environment. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. I did want to acknowledge the U.S. Coast Guard, as well as our Federal Aviation Administration, Harbor Police, and Customs and Border Patrol, Air and Marine. This is a unified command here. And I'm just so appreciative of everyone leaning forward to ensure that our visitors, our residents will remain safe during this weekend and leading up to this national championship game that we are proud to host. So with that, LaTanya will take questions.
Madam Mayor, Rob Mason, Fox 8.
Yes, sir.
Madam Mayor, have you heard anything definitive on a presidential visit yet? And does the possibility make this sort of planning even more challenging than it already was?
Well, we're prepared. We're prepared for PROTUS. Should that happen, we have made sure and been in constant communication with our federal partners, and also we'll have them embedded, of course, in our EOC, in our intelligence agency as well, the Real-Time Crime Center, and in coordination with the State Fusion Center as well. Any additional comments you want to make relative to his question? But that's all been factored in. And the good news is that we have been upgraded to Tier 2, which means that additional resources from the federal level are at our disposal, and we will embrace them every step of the way. But we're prepared.
Mayor Control, touch on what specific preparations have been underway as the severe weather is expected tomorrow, and with 70-mile-per-hour winds, Hard Rock is a concern for many people. How possible could something fall off, or what kind of the plan if that does happen?
Sure, and our chief continues to be the lead as it relates to the Hard Rock site, and I'll have him just kind of reiterate some points. I know that he's been consistently providing. The weather, absolutely. We will continue to monitor that. It has not organized just yet, but in preparation, we have made sure that back trucks, for example, are hitting major areas throughout the CBD, throughout the French Quarter. Constant communication and collaboration with Entergy as well. The Sewerage and Water Board, which will also be posted up in the EOC throughout the weekend. So making sure that we have that constant coordination, and that's just a priority for us in preparation for when. We continue to maintain the capacity of 99 pumps that are working with adequate pumping power and that capacity to pump. And so we feel very good about it. Colonel or Chief, you want to talk just a minute about Hard Rock?
As we emphasize every time we talk about that structure, it is an unstable building, and that's why you have the large evacuation zone that still exists today. There will obviously, during the weather, bad weather coming through, there'll be no operations going on there, and in preparation of it, we have broken down some of our equipment out there, meaning the tents and tables and stuff that you see the folks that are on the ground out there, the Louisiana Task Force, USAR team and stuff. We're breaking down those operations just in event of high wind, but there'll be no one in that area due to the idea that something could obviously move on that building or come off of it, because it is a very unstable building. So yes, we're prepared for it, and high winds give us a concern due to the nature of the building, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Given the recent events in the Middle East, the security and the potential threats, are they greater right now?
Well, we've been informed that there are no threats at this particular time, but of course, that will be constantly monitored by our federal partners. And with a unified command in place, we, meaning our public safety team, will be front and center and on the ground with our partners. Do you want to speak specifically? I think we pretty much covered it. Yeah, it is.
So
That's what
security
it is.
higher because of what's been going on in the Middle East?
Well, security hired, we are leaning in, absolutely prepared for even a visit from POTUS should that occur. And having all of our federal partners, again, a part of our unified command, our intelligence agency, the Real-Time Crime Center, the EOC, we're prepared.
I'm sorry, when you're saying you're leaning in, does that mean that you are?
All hands on deck.
Presence because of what's going on in the Middle East?
Well, absolutely, absolutely. I think that's just common sense on that. We're wanting to make sure that our visitors and our residents are safe and protected during the events that are happening in the city of New Orleans, and of course with the potential visit as well. So we're not we're doing all that we should be doing to be prepared, and we are.
Danny Monteverdi.
You mentioned there are additional federal resources in place. Can you talk about is manpower, equipment, combination?
Well, it's manpower. All resources are tied to dollar amounts as well, but it's everything, which is a good thing. Now, this is increased to Tier 2, and this is actually something we've been pushing for Mardi Gras in our city over the past year and a half. And so Mardi Gras has been upgraded to Tier 2, which this makes it, I think, a great way to prepare, not only for the national game, but even for Carnival.
I'm just not familiar with Tier 2. What is, without belaboring it, what is that?
Well, you want to speak to it? Yeah.
So the Federal Office of Homeland Security has a special events unit that we submit all of our special events, which we have more than any other in the country, to them. We've advocated since Mayor Cantrell came in that Mardi Gras should be a higher level event because it has national and international significance, and that's what they look at. So there's a ranking system from 1 to 5. It's called the Special Event Activity Rating. A 1 is a Super Bowl. A 2 is, I believe, a college football playoff or a Mardi Gras. And then from 3 to 5 is less significant. A lot of ours are ranked from around 3 and 4. We're very fortunate this year. This was upgraded last week, a few days ago, to a Tier 2 from a Tier 3. And Mardi Gras, for the first time that I know of, is at least the large weekend of Mardi Gras from the 22nd through the 25th is upgraded to a Tier 2. So a lot of these same collaborations. And listen, we've worked with the Coast Guard, Customs and Border Protection, and our federal partners with the FBI for Mardi Gras for years, and they've always been available. This maybe makes it a little more codified, puts together a federal coordination team with a leader that comes in, and we actually look at an entire list of assets that's available to us, to Sean, to public safety in general, both law enforcement, hazardous materials related, chemical and biological response related, and medical related for EMS. And we can look at that list for Mardi Gras, collaborate with our federal partners, and build an even tighter public safety network than we've had previously.
Yeah, and we started this process clearly. Actually, it was Mardi Gras 2019, where we hired to get aerial visuals to make the case in terms of when we have Carnival, how many people we have, not only in the city, but where people are. And it's not just in one concentrated area when you're having parades, and you know that better. But we were able to document that thoroughly, work with the FBI, and as a result, Mardi Gras has increased to level 2, and the national championship game, we just got word that it is as well. So it's a good thing for the city of New Orleans when it comes to public safety.
WGNO.
Mayor, considering the recent cyber attack, how are things on the IT communications front, and how are you guys rebounding? Do you feel like you're in a good place for this week?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're in a much better place. Every single day we even get better. But our communications, right, our communication services are intact. And that really does speak to our ability to be prepared as a public safety team and a unified command. So there are no issues there as it relates to the cyber attack and the preparedness of this city and our law enforcement partners and public safety team to respond.
Couple more questions. We have Tyler Bridges again with the Advocate, and we'll wrap it up with Rob Mason on Fox 8.
Two quick questions. If someone, what does SEER stand for?
Colin gave the acronym.
Special Event Activity Rating.
Special Event.
Activity Rating.
Then, Mayor, these kinds of events typically incur a large cost on the local police. We've seen that elsewhere. How much has the city had to budget for the extra time and cost?
Well, you know what? Being upgraded to the SEER 2 really does step in and fills gaps that now the city will not have to really worry about. That's why the real push for not only Mardi Gras, but even getting the news about this championship game, why it matters so much. And so the added resources just helps tremendously.
So how much is that saving the city?
Dollar amount, I can't give it to you right now. Gilbert, you got that mind going? You're thinking about it, my CAO? But we haven't calculated numbers at this time in preparation for this presser, but absolutely will make that available.
Give them the chance to answer.
Well, hey, don't tell me how to run my staff now and run my press conference.
Tyler, we can get that information to you.
Yes.
Rob?
Mayor, did we get the Tier 2 status because just of the magnitude of the event, or was it because of events in Iran?
No, I would say, and Colin can speak to that, but it really does speak to this championship game and the amount of individuals that will be in the city of New Orleans, not only celebrating, but just rooting for their Tigers. Colin, I'm going to have Colin just add on.
I would say this. I have followed this game, shouted it, like I said, for the last 3 years. In Atlanta, it was essentially a home game similar to what we're seeing Georgia played in it. We're seeing LSU play in this game. I think that was a huge factor in this because I believe they look at the numbers of attendance potential, not just attendance at the game. That's kind of the easy part to figure. It's going to sell out and there's a certain number of seats. What they don't know is how many people are going to travel here. And what we've been hitting on throughout this press conference is that people need to be prepared for, I think, massive amounts of traffic. And with some of the challenges we have with the collapse, you know, that's a major artery in our downtown area that I think is going to be affected. It's a place where ride shares typically tend to drop off, and they've had to move. So I think that's the biggest. I think the potential VIP visit is another factor. And I'm not discounting the fact that world events right now with that potential visit are probably a factor in this as well. But I would say the mainly what I've seen when we submit our special events to the federal government is they want to see vulnerability as far as numbers of people that are about. And I think that is a huge factor in this.
And have any events been canceled because of weather fears?
Any what? I'm sorry, Rob?
Any of the planned events been canceled?
Oh, no, sir, not at this time. Not at this time, but, you know, stay tuned. Hopefully nothing will be canceled. But we're focusing in on that 10 a.m. to 12 noon period as being the most aggressive as it relates to the weather. But let us hear from our FBI staff. Brian.
Sir, I just wanted to answer your question a little bit more specifically. My name is Brian Vorge. I'm the special agent in charge with the FBI here in Louisiana. To the Iran piece, we had a significant brief yesterday at FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C. There are no threats right now, either originating from overseas or originating from the homeland, certainly against the venue or the game on Monday night. So I think people can rest easy. We had a great brief with the mayor, and I just share with you that we'll be monitoring real-time classified reporting back at the FBI office leading up to the game and during the game, and we'll share that with the Unified Command, which includes all the partners here, should something change. But at this time, we don't expect anything to change. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brian.
One quick question, just to make sure I heard you right. What is the specific amount of pumping capacity that we have right now going into?
Oh, I want to say it's, what you gave me those numbers.
99 out of 99 drainage.
Well, I got that, but in terms of 66
megawatts of power with augmented by the 20 megawatts from Entergy.
So that speaks to enough redundancy, you know, as well.
We've got the power we need to run the
Yeah.
pumps that we need.
That's what we kind of worry about, but we're doing good.
And 99
99 pumps are working. We haven't seen that now in almost 2 decades, I think. Okay. All right. Thank you all so much. All right. And we'll continue to give you updates as we're informed more.